Morning. Hello. It's been a while, but we are back. Hi, how are you? I hope all is well in your life and everything. We have so much to talk about. I have notes. This battery may die, but I'm just going to read everything out. Here are the topics we're going to cover. Mother's Day. Oh. Black female influencers, immigrants in Christianity, money, deadbeat fathers who don't pay, the girl who moved out, and let's be consistent. I also want to show you guys this. I ordered this. It's a classic magazine from 1999, but I ordered it last year or 2023, and it's got Thandie Newton on the cover. Love her because I feel like Thandie Newton reminds me of me. Also, don't you love my mirror? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the hottest bitch of them all? It's me. Anyway, I also got my cat some new toys. So, as you see, which one is this? Oh, this is Carrie. Carrie doesn't even like to play with me, so I don't know why she's here. Anyway, let's chat it up. Ladies and gents, obviously you know we have alcohol because I can't talk dry. Trader Joe's has like 99 Prosecco, which I bought. I also love these. Okay, please don't eat these. They're these like sour jelly beans. Some of my new TJ Snacks favorites. Okay. So, today's Mother's Day, and if you've been here for longer than 5 seconds, you know that I don't like my mother, so obviously, like, it wasn't really a big deal for me. I gotta be honest. I didn't feel some sort of, like, how do I say? Yeah, I just didn't feel what others felt. I saw other people posting about their mothers. Oh, I love my mother. My mother's so great. And I just kind of felt like, yeah, she's alive. She sent me a message. I liked the message, but I didn't actually say anything back. Like, I think one thing I tried to be pretty consistent about, like, if I'm not with you through the days that aren't holidays, I am not the type of family member who's going to show up on the holidays. If you're not with me, through the weeks and shit, then when the holidays come, I want you to celebrate with whoever was there with you during the week. Right? Like, my wins are not your wins. My life is not your life. Like, my mother doesn't deserve Mother's Day. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about Black female influencers. I want to make a longer video about this, but I kind of just wanted to start to share some of the major highlights. So there's this influencer, Beth Ermias. Love her. She's actually on YouTube. You might watch her stuff. I don't know. But she went to Korea. Korea has great skincare. She sent me some skincare. She has so many brands of center things, which makes so much sense because she's so pretty. And I asked her, I'm like, anything you don't want, please send it to me. And she was like, for sure. Love her. Beth, I don't know if you watch my stuff, but you're the greatest. We love you over here. I told all of my coworkers about you, and you're just the bomb. Anyway, I wrote about Eman, right? Like, Eman's kind of great. She's kind of like really great. But there's something about like Canada where, like, for some reason all of the cool influencers, the cool Habesha influencers at least, are all in Canada, in like Montreal for some reason. And they all, okay, I was describing this to someone else, but I'll like link this so you guys can see it for yourself. How is it that all of the pretty Black girls in Canada have brand sponsorships for like American brands. For instance, Rode with Hailey Bieber sent Beth this fucking huge box. The box was bigger than my like front door. And she was like, can't wait to open it. And I'm like, oh my God. They also flew E-Man out to something in New York. And then now I guess E-Man's living in New York. There's also Zara, who's also in New York, which is very fucking cool. I hope that E-Man and Zara actually collab in some way because that would be fucking epic. Don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't know if those girls actually like talk to each other in real life. I'm not really sure. I don't know. But yeah, I hope they do that. That would be great. But I guess I kind of wonder like, what are the other girls talking about? Because yeah, okay, it's a recession. Yeah, okay, like some girls are getting the brand sponsorships. Like obviously I've covered a little bit when Sagan got a few, but like the other girls don't have that. There's like 5 or 6 girlies who are like getting things, but like everyone else isn't. And then I also saw like so many girlies like talking about how they're like not getting paid as much as like other girlies. Basically like the black girlies were like, yeah, you know, we're not getting as much money for these brand partnerships as like our white counterparts, and it's so unfair and blah 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 blah. I don't know. I guess like I feel like I actually kind of understand at this point why that is so. Like, and this goes actually to my last point, so we're just gonna like skip over for a second. Here's the idea. In America, somehow the gay men took all the shit. They took like all the beauty brand deals, all the influencer thingies. So now like they have the audience. It was like Jeffree Star is like trans and gay, but he has all the shit that like the pretty girls are supposed to have, and they don't have it because like he's got it. And that's across race, because even like the gay boys are like getting the shit. So what do the girlies get? And I've been saying this for a while. We don't fucking need to wear the dresses because the men are wearing the dresses. We don't all need to wear a dress. Like, we gotta move this shit forward. So let's go down to my last point, which is basically about deadbeat fathers. Men have a space in this society to provide for women and children. In the black community, the men are not getting married, and the men are abandoning their children, and the women are aborting their babies. So there is nothing for the men to provide for. Like, there's just no more need. The whole generation that those men were supposed to like quote unquote provide for wasn't even born. So now the men can have like a hot boy summer because like they're not providing for anyone. The problem is societies can't function without women, and if there's no women to have children or be mothers or be wives, then there's not really any more society. Like, what are you building for? There is no next generation. There's just a bunch of gay men who are now in society. It's like, I'm not gonna say that. Nobody's willing to fight for that. That's what the issue is. Like, the men with the families who are gonna fight to protect their families aren't going to, in the long term, for the prolonged future, fight for a society of like LGBTQ people with free rights. And that's like such a strange thing to say, but like I'm being serious. Like, or kind of a bunch of, even you're seeing a lot of people critique the like Gen Z who aren't getting in relationships, the like progressively forever single people. They hate those people too, right? And like the society doesn't want to like provide anything for those people, and it really shouldn't have to, kind of, in a sense. Like which is kind of another thing I think is a little bit funny. Like, I tried to create this very small, subtle lane where, you know, we were like micro adulting without men over here. And then I think like so many women kind of caught on to the like, this is actually really fucking cool. Um, but it was kind of, for me, it was just like a black woman thing, just because like there aren't enough black men. So like black women have to normalize like singlehood, and not just like normalize it, but almost like infantilize it and like play it up to romanticize it and make it like a life worth living, because like we just don't have the resources of the other ethnic groups. I've already talked about this in the Black Women Are Luxury Product videos, so if you haven't seen those, go back and watch them. Um, but okay, here's another thing I think is pretty interesting. Oh God, the girl who moved out. So there's this girl who I found on Instagram. She's like a very interesting girl, I gotta say. But basically, she recently moved out of her parents' house at 18. I don't know how she did it. She's in South Africa, by the way, so she's like a South African girl. Um, Possibly a member of the colored community. So that in itself is just interesting, like watching her kind of like be online. But as I'm like watching it, I'm starting to realize why does everyone want to be like American? Like the apartment living sort of situation, the like macro hyper independence, that stuff started in Europe. There's actually a film called like The Apartment. I don't know if it was with Nicole Kidman, or there's a pretty famous actress who's in it, but it started in France and it's a very European thing, but obviously like Europeans created like America, so like many Europeans came over to America, and it's like a Western sort of situation. Like the sort of the East and the like Africa of it all, this like hyper independence isn't normal. So it's kind of weird to have these women participating a little bit in that aspect of society that's like abnormal for them, because it also, they don't have like the same, it doesn't look like it, at least the same modern like amenities that we have, so it just kind of seems a little fetch, like, ooh, you're trying real hard, but like it ain't it, you know. God. Kind of do you know, I'll make another video that's specifically about the Met, because I thought so many looks weren't giving. No surprises there. But there were a few that were. I really like Cara Delevingne's look. This is Mike, guys. Michael C. Jordan. I've introduced you to him already. He loves me very much. His father is away at work. He does have a father. He's not a bastard. He looks like his father, doesn't he? I'm fucking kidding. Anyway, I also, okay, there's this show on Amazon Instant Video. It's called Summer. And it's really interesting because there's this girl who acts in it, and her name is Livia, which I love, right? Basically, Olivia. And she kind of looks like me. And the more I continue to meet people from Central America, from obviously East Africa, from even parts of like Asia, and they're this like brown skin color just like me, they have features that are a bit more similar to mine, it becomes more clear why the spaces like the exotical space do need to exist to really like differentiate and help cluster more people who are not simply like lighter skinned and that's all, but who have other phenotypes that aren't typical, especially typical in the Black community. Like, I think it is really important to create space for people who look like JT and Tiana Taylor pre-surgery, because there are girls who are young now who are going to grow up and who are going to look like that. Like that is who they are, and like those women don't have traditional pretty privilege. They are still women, and I'm not trying to take that from them. But I think the older that I'm getting, I'm starting to like really realize like I'm bringing this back to this TV show. It was called Summer, because like this girl in the show is from Brazil. I've gone to Brazil. Brazil's great. There are some people who assume that I am Brazilian. I'm not Brazilian. I'm not an Afro Latina, nothing like that. I'm literally black and African. Um, but I understand kind of the way that other groups, especially like European men or American men who have traveled to other places, including Central America, including Miami or places like that are pretty international, and have seen a lot of other people who look similar to me. And it's a very favorable phenotype. Like, I have a very favorable phenotype. Like, lots of different groups are interested in it, not just black men or black people. Um, and I guess I'm saying that to say that as I'm watching kind of the black male community specifically, like, how do we say, struggle or take accountability for their lack of accountability forcefully, as in like society is like forcing these men to see what they have not been doing for so long, which obviously black women specifically have been at the on the receiving end of the inadequacy and of like the failures, like when men are abandoning their children, when men are underemployed, when men are not emotionally supportive, when men are bad fathers, when men are bad partners, when men are cheaters, when men are poor, all of these like character flaws and societal flaws that this group of men has been demonstrating for a while are now, they're not just at the forefront, but they're being used as examples in other groups to literally separate the other groups from the men. So in the patriarchy, because we live in a patriarchy, other men are showing up as men for their group. Like, you can see it very clearly in Hispanic men who are participating in the patriarchy, specifically in places right now like Tennessee and in the Bible Belt, and saying, actually, our culture dictates that we are Catholic and, you know, we are pro-life and we care deeply about our families and our communities, and we are taxpayers and we are not pro-LGBTQIA, and we are conservatives and we are voting Republican and all of these things. And it's like, okay, if you only lived in the world, you'd know that that's how it is and how it's been for a long time. But if you live on the internet, you might be under the impression that it's like something else. Anyway, but when you have groups of men who are saying, these are our cultural norms, and you have another group of men that has no cultural norms, because I don't know if these men see themselves as members of any group. Like, I don't know if they see their women, black women in the world, black children in the world, as deserving of their protection or care. I'll go more into that later. Another thing, I'm going to invest pretty heavily into my food blog and city navigation. I've been doing this a lot on Instagram, so if you were there and you followed any of my food blogs, continue to do so if you so choose. But I've kind of realized how it actually might be a little bit useful to talk about like how much things in my life cost, how I pay for them, how I finance my life currently as I move into the next stage of my life. Like, these guys are expensive cats, right? They eat fish every night. I literally buy fresh fish for them and I cook it up and they eat it, right? Like they just had some salmon, some fresh salmon. I might make them some tilapia nuggets tonight. They have insurance costs and vaccinations, walks. They had the recovery suits. They're expensive kittens. Anyway, so somebody's got to pay the cost. Pay the cost for the kittens to survive. And currently it's me. It's me. Also, I'm getting my hair cut and colored. That is going to be very interesting. I got a consultation for it. It's a pretty drastic change. We're gonna have a blowout summer and I'm renting the runway, so let's all be excited for me. I'm gonna show you guys looks. We're gonna talk about it, yeah. For now, that's all I've got. I'm gonna try to be consistent. That's where this started, and I'll come and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.